Rooted in resilience, inspired by nature, powered by movement. The podcasts where healing meets empowerment. Let's rise and thrive together. And now, here are your hosts, Scott and Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Thrive. We have no idea what we're doing today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. But we are going to first turn it over.
Lots of things.
Yeah, we've been talking about a lot of things. And so with you today, we're going to be talking about nutrition. We're going to be talking about rhythm. We're going to be talking about muscle memory. And Melissa's going to share some tips and tricks on how to listen to your body before anybody else. Any doctors, any algorithms in social media, friends and family, how to listen to your gut to help your gut. There you go.
Well said.
Thank you. Now, why don't you take us and calm us?
A moment. Well, right there, we're going to start working on the gut, your inner world. So we each have that capacity to shift what's happening on the inside.
Let's do it.
Okay, so when you're ready, please find a comfortable position.
Oh, no, that's not it.
Nice big sigh when you're ready. Let that sigh not come from your chest, though. Let me catch you. I want you to go down into the belly first. Feel it rise up from underneath your rib cage. Keep going. Let it inhale up into your chest, and then let it out. Welcome to close your eyes if you haven't already. And let whatever you've been carrying in your mind, on your face, on your shoulders to just dissolve a little bit. Literally right now, feel the energy vibration you were exuding in whatever task or activity or responsibility you were involved in. And we each have the right and responsibility to step back from that and support our body and mind to come back into the present moment. So with that, I want you to just simply, we're going to be quiet. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. And do your best to let your awareness, your attention be right there with the sensation of your inhale and the sensation of your exhale. And if you drifted, a few more breaths here, just come back. Feel the sensation in your body where that inhale is and where you sense and feel your exhale. And then from deep within the belly, once again, let a slow internal stretch and rise of that inhale. And then let it out. And you're welcome to re-engage when you are ready. So,
I like disengaging.
yeah, I think it gives us an opportunity to disidentify with whatever we're consumed in at the moment and just be like, okay, reset. And just think of that's available to us all the time.
You know, we talk about it at your Self-Care Saturday, which you'll talk about in a minute.
Oh, yes, that's coming up.
And we talk about it in our annual retreats we do. And it's fascinating to me to do what we just did here, but do it twice a day with a group of people and then see them from the beginning to the end of that retreat and how much things have shifted, not just for them, but for us as facilitators, because we're actively engaged in that as well, because we are not perfect at this. We are still working on it.
We're practicing every day.
That's the practice. Yeah. That's what's called the practice. So before we begin on our topic today, tell us what's going on with you and optimal living lately.
Lots.
Self-Care Saturday coming up.
Well, yes, Self-Care Saturday. 4 more spots left.
What's the date?
September 19th, and we are currently August. Where are we?
21st.
20th.
20th?
21st.
Yeah, when we record
this.
When
we record this, so you'll receive this next week. Yes, and it's on my website, and it's a way that my new beings that get introduced to come and just participate in a very all-inclusive supportive movement, breathwork, being in nature, grounding, and Scott's going to actually be joining us for the September one, and often I'll have a guest. My daughter was co-facilitating with me last time, and then so yeah, and I try to have these Self-Care Saturdays almost quarterly through the year, to not only support the optimal living community. We do weekly yoga and movement together and wellness coaching. So it's a way to come together and steep a little longer. You don't have to just be in the community you can go from the outside to those, but it goes hand in hand and gives us a space to step away out of our usual worlds. It's not like our full-on retreats. It's not several days, but it's a way to start tipping your toe in a little more space for yourself.
About 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours to come and just let your body and your nervous system and you get a little absorption of that nature. Reboot.
Where is it?
Out in Scio.
Yeah, so it's local. It's not a virtual thing.
Yeah. It's an in-person. So please reach out if you want to know more about that. And my new website is up. So I say new website, refreshed.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, because I realized I was counting the years. I've been in practice for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I have an amazing web gal that's been right alongside with me. And we decided it just kind of came together to say, hey, it's time to kind of refresh, and had a dear being make my logo years ago. That's like a professional hidden artist in town here that does logos for big companies. And he chose the colors and everything like that, which I've always loved him. But then I've kept the logo, but I've just like kind of honed the colors in a little bit and included my daughter in the website. And so she's taking her personal steps to put her practice together.
Fantastic.
And creating that wellness support through nutritional therapy, yoga therapy, functional movement, and overall wellness coaching. So it's not just, making people do these things. It's helping people connect to what their personal body needs.
Yeah, for a better life. Yeah, not a temporary fix. And if they ever want temporary fixes, she's not the person to reach out to. So don't do it.
No.
You want permanent, long-term investment in your health, she's the person.
Right. And hence the name Optimal Living. That's why it came about.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
So yeah, that's what's happening in the community.
Good.
Of yoga.
Good.
But please, I'd love for you to join and reach out.
Yeah, well, it's been busy for me too, and with Elevate Under Pressure and Scott Sadler coaching. I've got my book out, which I've talked about in previous episodes, Elevate Under Pressure. It's the pressure performance system for leaders that refuse to break. And it's getting great feedback, and people are starting to, it came out in June, and I can tell people have been reading because now the phone calls are starting to come. It's taken them a month or two to get it read. And I've been very excited, and I'm doing a few sessions for CEO groups and associations, booked across the country to speak. And that's really been kind of what I wanted, and very excited. I think it's a solid program, and I don't talk about my work. I'm very proud of my work, but this one I'm talking about. I'm really excited about it. And so that's been great. And had a great session last week with an association, went to Washington and did a Gallup Strengths workshop all day. And the results were just crazy good. Such good people. And they really went deep, and we really had amazing conversations. And them as leaders are going to embed this into their leadership language and how they show up for their direct reports and their peers. And it was just a lot of fun. So, and I got another one coming up next week. And so if you're in an environment where you'd like to learn more about Gallup Strengths or Elevate Under Pressure, reach out, give me a shout. And I'm also booking keynote talks for the fall and into the spring already. So things are really rolling, and I want to be busy, but not too busy. That's my commitment
Right.
these
That's
days.
our balance of
Yes,
redefining busy.
that's right.
Redefining busy.
Yes, and not using the word busy, but fulfilled.
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
yeah. So that's kind of our update. And stay tuned for more information about our
Big
upcoming retreat. It will be, we'll give you more information on that. It's in the works.
Yes,
yeah,
we've got the details.
Stay tuned.
Details coming.
We're getting people reaching out, and we're not quite sure how to answer it yet because we're in the planning process.
Yeah.
In fact, this afternoon we have a dedicated time to work out some logistics. So very soon we'll have some direction for you all about what the next retreat looks like.
Because we want to all be looking forward to that and planning.
Absolutely, yeah. So today we're going to make this a short session today, but we're going to be talking about
kind of short session. You say short session. We'll try.
Yeah, we'll try.
I'll sit over here.
But Melissa is going to lead the conversation around how you know what's best for you through your own inner knowledge when it comes to your body and nutrition.
Well, I was inspired. I was on a walk and this came to me for this topic. And I've been, and of course, several other topics that are coming soon. As I've been doing this work now for 27 years, I started out in the nutrition world of how to help someone with their diet, right? And kind of the paradigm of that. And even as I started to get into teaching at a university level, and then going into more of the private one-on-one level, still kind of that cookie cutter. And then as I started to hone in and got some deeper years and experience underneath my belt and my own personal practice and studies, to realize that everybody's bio-individual. And
what's bio-individual?
So bio-individual means I know the parts that you have and other males have, and I know the parts we all have. We know what those parts are. At the same time, we have very unique and different environments inside.
Oh, it's like a weather pattern inside?
That, or I always like to think of a rainforest ecosystem.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, if many of us that might be having gut challenges and different symptoms, I like to call them messengers, because often when we think symptoms, we think that's something we got to go get rid of.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Right. And I think messengers, your body's trying to share something with you. Mm-hmm. So what I think about is this, many of us, if we're having, like I mentioned, gut troubles or various skin issues or whatever, our body's trying to send a message that it's maybe possibly got a little bit of a devastated rainforest in there. Its ecosystem is challenged. And there's things that we can do to support that. And what you referred to at the beginning about really helping people come into their own needs first. We've been taught early on, I feel like, in our Western culture to seek, not even to think about nutrition, really. We just hope the body functions and keeps doing without. And I've come across, and this was new to me because I was just always fascinated by it. But there's a lot of people out there that don't know that they have a spleen, that they don't know what the liver does. And I'm not putting anybody down or anything like that. It just hasn't been, you just have it. You get gifted this and you get to figure it out. And so we often have been, then we think we need to rely on others to tell us what to do with it and how to fix it.
Yeah, it's true.
And so what I have found over the years of working with people is that when I help them, such as being a wellness coach, when I help them tap into trusting and connecting with their own body in a way that is beyond what we know in our culture. It isn't woo-woo. We all get those gut instinct. We get that feeling when we walk in a room. We get that just knowing. That's what I'm talking about. We all have that capacity.
Yeah, the hair on the back of your neck down the alley.
Right. Yeah. Your body's giving you messages all the time. Mm-hmm. And if we learn and work on practice, honing into that, when something, and we notice something in the body showing up, instead of the first thing being, I got to go Google this or I got to go to the doctor to fix this, I want to have you pause and start to build trust with that relationship. But our tendency is to, I got something going on. We go right up into the intellect to try to solve it. And when we give the body a moment, we drop in. And like I said, this takes practice. I'm still practicing. We drop in, and literally when we get into the quiet, and this is what you may think, oh, she teaches yoga, but this is what we've been practicing in yoga. Yoga to me is not the physical practice. It is a way of being. So we're practicing being in that stillness to hear your own body's information. It's wisdom that it's waiting to share with you. And not always in words, but in that knowing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to nutrition, I wanted to support people. I wanted to talk about this.
Can I share a story?
Yeah.
Before we go to nutrition, you talk about that intuition of listening to your body. And I just recently had an experience. I know you know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Our audience hasn't heard this, of having a muscle back problem, a back muscle problem, right? And it would be easy. And I'm sure this contributed to the problem, but I'd been on a road trip and I'd been in a couple of flights and I was sitting a lot, and I don't sit a lot. And so it's easy to go, well, you were sitting a lot. You didn't have a lot of routine and blah, blah, blah. So that contributed to it. But what I know is that's where I carry my stress. And I was having a very stressful period there. And you know how I couldn't move. I couldn't even put on my own socks. I did, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And I can touch the floor and bend over in normal conditions. And I did the usual things. I went to my chiropractor as soon as possible. I got a massage right away. And those were helpful. But I know what really healed me was the intuitive, the inside going calm, release. And understanding that part of it accelerated that from being solved. And then on top of it, applying heat and seeing the doctor and doing the
support. Yeah.
But I know the healing came from that in my getting back to my yoga slowly. And so you're saying not to use all your tools.
Correct.
But I am a witness that my internal healing, I heal from the inside out.
Yes. I love that. Right.
And I only knew it after, because I was in such pain that I just did it, but I was in such pain I didn't care. I'd do anything to fix it. And so I did everything, but I didn't rely on just the outside person.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I said that story before you went on to the nutrition part.
Well, I appreciate that too, because yes, regarding the tools, when you found yourself kind of being able to turn inward and say, oh, okay, my intention, my awareness of my body, then that opens you up to the next tool, the right tool to apply.
All right.
And not meaning right versus wrong or good versus bad, meaning what comes up in that quiet space that your body's guiding you to say, yes, chiropractor, yes. Take a moment to breathe, put your legs up, whatever it may be, right?
But I didn't jump to muscle relaxer.
Right.
And that's one side of it. And I didn't jump to, well, I got to get on the mat and stretch this out. Both would have been bad.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had to just kind of be. And you know how active I am. And that something was telling me to slow my roll in my life for that period of time. Right. And I had to listen. And it was, I don't know, it took 3 or 4 days after it started to heal where I was like nervous. I was like, I don't want to re-injure myself. So I slowly got back to my activity. I just ran 6 miles yesterday, my first run since the back issue. And I was great. I didn't have any issues. But I'm convinced that the healing inside out is what put me on the quick heal. Because I could still be down with that thing.
Right. Well, a lot of people try to just push through, right? Override or medicate, right? And not to say that isn't needed at times, but there's that balance that what we're sharing today is the first step is to practice coming into that pause first, to listen to the clarity that your body wants to provide you. Because as we've talked about before, the issues are in the tissues. Those psychological, mental, the things we take in do end up in your body and coming out if you're not addressing them. Like a buildup of stress.
Yes. Yeah. So
the next step, what I wanted to share is that first is that pause, right? And then one of the next areas to look to first, before you go to all the solves or the different, is to give your body that opportunity to touch base with nutrition first, what you're eating, because that changes every day. So if you've got various symptoms or things showing up, right? We know now cultures have been studied, like if they're, in certain demographics where they're coming into the ER all the time and their wounds aren't healing, we're finding like they're malnourished in protein. You need your food, and nourishment is medicine. And we in our culture, as we now are seeing a lot more and more coming out, that we are consuming all of this processed food that this body was never meant to ingest.
I'm going to pull something up as you're talking that we can share.
Yeah. And to just remind yourself that when you are caring for your body, it is part of our responsibility to feed it well, to learn what it means to be fed well, and to know that most of our doctors have little to no nutritional education. They have gone to medical school to learn medicine, to treat you with medicine and support that, and we go to them for lifestyle. And it's really hard to find that support out there now because we have so much information coming. That's why my request, not to go into too much of a rabbit hole here, is to pause and listen to your body. And then start to know, we're going to, as I've always advocated with my people, is whole food. And what does that mean? And looking at your food as one of the first places to help support your body to feel better, to thrive.
Now, listen, we aren't saying it's easy.
No.
It is getting even harder to look at your food. I know that one of your favorite brands just got bought out.
Right.
And so you could easily not have known that and kept buying it and be eating a completely re-engineered product that has the things in it now that it didn't have in it, the reason you bought it.
Yeah.
That's one small example. I have a guy here from, who is this? It's David Kessler, former FDA Commissioner David Kessler. And I'm going to try to play this through the microphone because it speaks exactly to what Melissa is talking about right now. So bear with me as I try this crude methodology here.
40 years, the United States has been exposed to something that our biology was never intended to handle. Energy-dense, highly palatable, rapidly absorbable, ultra-processed foods that have altered our metabolism and have resulted in the greatest increase in chronic disease in our history. Type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, hypertension, abnormal lipids, fatty liver, heart attacks, stroke, heart failure from our food.
So
That's scary shit.
it is. And that's why part of this ongoing series here is helping support you to start to acknowledge that food is one of your first sources to look at to support your body.
Food is medicine.
And your brain, and to actually start helping you define what whole food is. Because just like this individual was saying, was that, for some of us, we grew up thinking this was food, to go buy boxes of cereal for breakfast.
Yep.
Because it's heart healthy.
Yep.
And it's got all this. And so just to kind of not go into too long detail.
It's hard though.
It's so hard. I'm going to share something right now that I often share in my classes and my individuals, because I want you to walk away today saying, okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to connect with my breath. I'm going to listen to my body, and I'm going to start to look at what I'm eating, and I'm going to start to just notice. So I want you to think about your hand. It's always with you. And this is just giving you a gauge when we've gotten, like you said, our body's been so exposed to stuff that it's not meant to ingest, that we start losing our own mechanisms inside to be able to decipher when we're full, when we're hungry. Do I eat this? Do I not? And so I like to give the hand, not because I'm about measuring food or calculating calories. No, I'm about helping you connect with fueling your body, and your body will tell you when it has the appropriate fuel. At the same time, the body will really adapt. If you're feeding it crap, pretty soon after a while, the body's going to do what it can to just sustain off of that. And it's until you start to clear it out that you start to realize how much of a fog or how much it was damaging your well-being. So with the hand, I want to be simple here. Your palm is protein. So think about protein as these are essential, these are your macronutrients. Protein being, and please, for the sake of this conversation right now, I'm going to talk about from the science, the whole food of what helps a human body repair, build, digest. So right now, protein, good quality, It's another podcast. Quality beef, chicken, fish, eggs, wild game,
Pork? Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
And I know people are going to have like, well, what about? Please, this is just simple right now.
Yeah.
This is just a baseline.
Good.
Then you've got your thumb, including part of your thumb pad here. That's your healthy fat. So think of your olive oil, your coconut oil, avocado oil, good quality avocado oil.
Yeah, there's questions about that now
Well,
too. So we're not going into details.
Yeah, there we go. So nuts and seeds, these are your healthy fats the body needs. Fat is needed in order to absorb nutrients. So healthy fat is a part of your plate. And butter. Thank you.
Okay.
Butter.
Okay, good.
Grass-fed butter. And that's another detail, but let's just include it for now. And then your fingers, beyond the fingers in a nice pile, is vegetables and some fruit. Ideally, this is the foundation. So protein, macronutrient, healthy fat, macronutrient, vegetables and fruit, carbohydrates. Vegetables and fruit are carbohydrates. Now, I know there's going to be some question. People are going to go, what about this? What about that? This is your base. If we can ultimately eat from this base most of the time, this is what your body recognizes.
So I didn't hear you mention anything about bread.
Right. So don't go off on that. So
I know. I'm just mentioning. I'm just saying.
Well, I know people are like, well, what about my yogurt? What about this? What about that? There's a lot of other nuances here. That's why I said this is the base.
We're going to have a follow-up to this, but we'll break this down a little bit more. But for today, because we're at our limit here on our time, we promise to keep these within 35 minutes.
Short and sweet.
I love that. I've not heard the hand thing from you before. I really think that's cool. I wonder, we'll save this for the next episode, but I want to say we have to, this is a rabbit hole, but I want to say this in closing this episode. Corporate America is marketing health to you, and they don't care.
No, it's a food industry.
It's a food industry. So when Melissa says we were brought up, and I was brought up eating cereal every morning, heart healthy Cheerios.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. But remember, you as an individual have got to do your own homework to decide what's right for you and not let the package tell you what's right for you. And I'm speaking to you from someone who's learning this real time. I don't eat a lot of processed food. I don't eat a lot of junk food. I don't eat fast food. But, since I've met you and you've been helping me since 2023, I'm eating less gluten, which is hard because...
Well, you'll send me pictures of your steak and your vegetables made with good oils.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people leave out the healthy fat, but that's part of the inclusion of those. And when you get more of your meals looking like that, that step alone.
Yeah. Well, but I've always eaten like that. But I like my pizza occasionally.
But now you're more aware.
I am. But I guess what I was getting to though is I never really was, I'm not going to read the package. I'm not, and now I'm looking at it more. And I'm using an app and I'm like, okay, what is this? And sometimes if I can't find your ad, I'll send it to you and you're like, I don't know. I'm like, damn, but I really wanted that.
Yeah.
So I'm learning. And I think we have to be our own advocate is my ultimate little statement here.
Yeah. And the baseline I want to provide is that it isn't you waiting for the next information to tell you what you can eat.
Yes.
That's what I want to come back to saying, whole food.
Yeah.
Whole food, stuff that you grow, stuff that has lived on the earth, in the soil,
in a healthy,
in the pasture,
happy,
right? That's when you
way.
start to connect with my body is made of that and needs that. When we start living off of boxes and stuff with labels and stuff with recommendations.
Natural flavors.
Yeah, natural flavor. That is a big one. All these kind of things, we got to catch ourselves being like, wait a minute, is this food? And that's where the pause comes in because your body knows. And the more I want to give you this hand today. And my request is that you come into the pause and you start to notice. Don't feel like I got to start eating this way. No, it's not about that. It's about reconnecting. And when you just first and foremost start to look and see if your plate looks like this, and then start to say, oh, what micro little change can I make to start it look more like this? And let your body feel supported. And
she means it too. She doesn't want people to rush the process because then you'll fail. More likely to fail. Take your time. Start recognizing.
Well, we
listening.
go back into the diet and the shoulds.
We go back to yeah. By the way, you know what my grandma calls organic food? Food.
Nice.
Because back in those days,
it was just food.
It was all
right?
organic.
Well, that's
right?
it. We grew up with going out to the garden, but I mean, I was.
And why is the
part
organic food section the smallest section in the grocery store? Doesn't it make you wonder?
Right.
Right. All right. There's our tangent for today. We're going to follow this up with a little deeper dive into this for our next week's episode. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. And in the meantime, if you want to know more about this and have a one-to-one initial session with Melissa, she's happy to do it with you. Just find her at Optimal Living Salem. Yeah. And you can also find me at elevateunderpressure.com. And we'd love to hear from you. So go have a healthy meal today. Look at your hand and take care of each other. And don't forget to take care of yourself. We'll see you next time on Rise and Thrive.
Namaste.
Thanks for tuning in to Rise and Thrive, a podcast by Vital Age Wellness Coaching. If you found this episode meaningful, please rate, review, and share it with someone who might need it. For upcoming retreats and to join the Vital Edge Wellness community, head to vitaledgewellnesscoaching.com. Let's rise and thrive together.